Okay, so now I've showed you how to set up the island fill, and how you can delete these toolpaths if you don't want them anymore is you drag across until it's all highlighted. You right click and you go to delete toolpaths, and make sure you right click on the actual tool paths, so that'll delete. Now we're going to do the same thing, but instead of doing an island fill, we're going to do a hatch fill. So we're going to click on the inside border, we're going to press shift on our keypad, and we're going to left click and drag across all the inside events. So everything's highlighted again, everything's red, you got your blue in there. You're going to go up the toolpaths, and then instead of island fill like we did, where it cuts it in an island form, we're going to do hatch, so it'll cut across left or right. So with this one, you already have pre-saved toolpaths. So we're going to go to our little strategy tab. We're going to go to regrind medium detail hatch, which is both your 1/2 inch and your 1/8 inch bit. It's already set up to 3.75 or 3/8. And in here you can check and see and adjust your feeds and your speeds. And we definitely don't want to do 300. We can do about 250 to 200. Let's make it 200. Looks good here. Plunge rate, spindle rate, that looks good. For your fill, you can do about 75. And okay. I like to set this to 0.74 just in case the 1/8 inch bit decides to take off more than it wants. That happens sometimes. Sometimes you get a new bit, still pretty sharp. It's the same, this looks good, this looks good. And there you go. You can adjust this accordingly, but typically we only use the island fill. So if you absolutely need to do one of these, you can, but it's not necessary. So you can go ahead and press OK. And the reason it's not typically necessary is sometimes when you're doing the hatch fill, it likes to leave streaks across since there's no overlapping of the streaks. So, but that's how you do a hatch. And then you can go through the same thing. You can click your outside border, 3D simulate, make sure you do that every time. We don't have to go crazy with this, do 18. Press play, it's gonna load. And see, our buffer size wasn't super high, so it's not gonna take as long to load. And it's counting the toolpaths here. And you can go to rendered view. Bam, there you go, there's your hatch fill. And if you want, you can always check it step by step, so you can rewind all the way and then use this little tab here that says go to next tool lift, and you can just see where it's going to start. I always like to see where it's going to start, so when I'm watching it on the machine, I know it's going to do exactly what it's supposed to. So that first one right there, like, all right, it started where it's supposed to, and then the next one, I'm like, okay, it's good. I can let it cut and not have to supervise it. It's good to go. And then you can just go ahead and go through these and see what it's going to do. And there you go. And then so to go back and render it again, we can exit out of that and just press play. Make sure you do this every single time again. Like I said, just load it all the way through 303 tool lifts, and then you can go ahead and press play. So it's been rendered properly, and we know it's going to cut properly. Actually, no, we caught it right there. So that's how we know we've been playing around too much. So what we're going to have to do here, this isn't supposed to be here and this isn't supposed to be here. So what we're going to have to go ahead and do is exit out of this, press F12, and then redo it again without all the crazy steps in it. Go to Simulate 3D, MV, white, okay. Now we're going to go ahead and just let it load all the way through. Okay. Okay, in rendered view, see none of those little patches are there anymore, so now it looks like it's going to cut properly, and we're good to go. Exit out, F12. Last step, very last step, is to load it onto your machine. I'll make a separate video also for this, but here at the end I'll just go ahead and put this step in there just so you can follow it accordingly. So what you're going to want to go ahead and do is press Alt on your keypad, M, and then U, and this is your output. And check your tool orders. We want to always make sure that it's going to do 1/2 inch first. Take off all the big chunks. This is your cleanup bit. Strategy, we know it's a hatch fill. We go to File, go up to your saving tab, and always make sure it's DNC files. That's the router to your multicam machine. Flying Donkey. We got a new folder here, and we know that this is match made, so we're gonna go ahead and rename it match made. If you need to make a new folder too, you can always do that. Just right click and make a new folder. So we know it's match made. Go ahead and click into that folder, and we know this is a hatch cut, so we're gonna go ahead and label it hatch cut. And then we are good to go. You can press save. It says click OK, add tools, and continue. So we know that our regrind 1/2 inch bottom surfacing bit isn't actually in the machine. So before anything, we're going to want to go ahead and do that and then change the tool that's in the machine. So for this one, tool 5 is typically your 1/2 inch bottom surfacing bit. So we're going to go ahead and find it. It's right there. And then as soon as you change this, you're going to want to go ahead and take tool 5 out of your machine and change it to the 1/2 inch bottom surfacing bit. So we changed it, we press OK again, and we're good to go. Now the computer knows that it's in the machine when you put it in the machine. So once again, Alt, M, U, tool order, looks good. Strategy, looks good. To file, DNC, Flying Donkey, match made, and then we're gonna label it hatch cut. Save. It's gonna load, and it's good to go. And another way you can check this too, once you've done it, is go look on the remote on your machine, go to your job files, and it'll pop up as match made. And that is how you make a pocket cut and load it onto the machine. Thank you.